Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Riley here again. I'm going to go over my trades from the day today. I did take a couple of trades on Friday, but it's been finals week. It was a green day, but yeah, as you can see here, I've been completely burnt out. Like I said in some prior videos, I'm a mechanical engineering student. And right now we are doing finals week, more like finals month. So I've been absolutely busting my ass um, with school and trading. And I mean, it really hurts me to not journal this day. I'll probably go back tomorrow and journal. Tomorrow's my last day of school. So I'll probably go back and journal this, but it was a green day, and I did go back and look over the trades. But moving on today, yesterday I didn't trade because I had a final in the morning, but today I got up, did all my charting, and was looking to play calls. It was a pretty clear setup, and I was actually really excited with it, but ended up not working in my favor at all. And well, the trade did. The trade worked perfectly, but I'll show you guys what I did. So we'll go ahead and start off with overall market context. So we've been selling off the past couple of days. Excuse me, over the past week. Then we finally found buyers here at the bottom of this weekly trend line, kind of bounced up here. We were hanging out for a little bit, and I believe yesterday we sold off a little bit. Yep. And today, same deal. But this morning, we were right about here. Um, yeah, right about here. So I was looking. Anyway, on this downtrend, you can tell. So just the way I think of it, see all this volume down here, like the heightened volume over these couple of days as we came down to the bottom of this trend line and kind of chopped around in demand and created weekly demand down here. That shows that a lot of buyers are factored in down here. So you can see, obviously, we came down here, retested demand down here, this 4-hour demand, unused 4-hour demand right above weekly demand, and got a nice bounce out of it. That's because of all these buyers factored in that are defending this price down here. And we did have sellers up here, but as you can see, heightened volume, whole lot more buyers factored in down here than sellers up here. So if I saw a bullish setup, this easily could have made a higher low like it did right here, potentially. And we could have continued to the upside. So that's what I was looking to play. Literally like same exact picture on NQ. But if we zoom into the 5-minute, so this is basically what I was looking at. Actually, it's cleaner on the 1-minute, but we were making this little descending wedge this morning on both ES and NQ. Let me see if I can make this look a little bit cleaner. Go ahead and get rid of this. Oops, not duplicate it. Nice. So, same deal, but this one wasn't as clean. We had a descending wedge, kind of just, we had 4-hour unused demand down here and weekly below. But I liked how ES was kind of right inside. I mean, they were about the same, to be honest with you. But Spy had more range if we were to bounce. That's why I looked at playing Spy calls, because we were, all the way down here in demand and could bounce all the way up into supply. And that was my original plan. Over here, we were kind of hanging out above demand, still had a little bit of ways to drop and retest. So I loaded up, or I thought I loaded up Spy calls. I literally went over here. Oops, what's going on? And I loaded up Spy calls, did the send, Had it over here on my active trader. I thought it was calls. Joke's on me. I was playing. What were they? I was playing very far. What was it? Very far out of the money puts, I think, for QQQ. Anyway, I accidentally still had QQQ puts loaded into my active trader when I just loaded in SPY calls. So I'm not sure how that happened. But I mean, as you can see, I spent $1,000 on this contract, and I only have like a excuse me, I only have like a $1,600 account, so that ruined my entire day. So this was a very emotional 1 second. This pissed me off bad. The market just opened, my setup triggered, had calls loaded in, or so I thought, marketed in, and it was fucking puts. So I was already super emotional for the day, immediately marketed back out, as you can see. I think, well, I took a $12 hit on that. I'm honestly pretty happy with that. It could have been a lot worse, especially after breaking out of a descending wedge in demand like that, at market open. We could have seen contracts spike, or these put contracts lose a lot more value than they did. But nevertheless, I was very livid about this. I am already very stressed with finals. I easily could have not traded today and done just as well as I did, as you can see. But I wanted to trade anyway. It's been a while and I miss it. And so anyway, you'll see, I'll go ahead and zoom in, show you guys where I was going to enter. And we had some good confirmation. So I was going to enter at 931 on this candle right here. As soon as we broke above, I tried to enter and bought puts. So I sold immediately. But, I was completely stressed out, but still looking to re-enter because this was like a really clean setup. I mean, we had this beautiful descending wedge and all this range here. This little red line here is 5-minute supply pre-market. I just marked it to judge intraday strength, see how the sellers are responding there, to see if maybe we were going to pull back further into demand before we went. But so I looked to re-enter, and I played SPY calls at 932, and this is where we see my emotions come into play. So at 932, right? I believe I was anticipating a 1-minute RBR, which is really kind of risky. But we had just broken out of this descending wedge, so I was expecting a little bit of momentum. I was expecting buyers right at market open to kind of fuel the move upward. But it's also very, very common to get a retest. Excuse me, sorry. To get a retest of this upper trend line of the descending wedge. So this is my mistake. I set my stop loss at the bottom of the basing candle, which is what I normally do for RBRs, continuation patterns. I just set it at the bottom of the bottom wick of the basing candle. And basically, if it doesn't go in my favor, I'm getting out. This is scalper mentality. It needs to go in my direction as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'm cutting losses and looking to re-enter. So anyway, first trade here, I entered with calls. I was very angry still, very emotional. Just been a rough week for me, so entered calls here. I'm still doing a good job of staying pretty calm. Like trading is not very emotional to me, but after this morning, yeah, it was pretty emotional. So, we were just kind of basing out here. I was expecting for buyers to fuel the next move up, but just in time, excuse me, I'm going to get a drink. Just in time for us to find those buyers, we came down to retest the upper trend line, and my stop loss was at the bottom of this basing candle. So for some reason, instead of waiting for a retest like I always do, my emotional mindset told me to stop out right there, which is good. I set my stop loss there when I entered the trade. But look at that, literally like almost to the penny, we come down, touch the upper trend line, and rally all the way to my target. So this is a good example of how emotions can very much so affect your trades. Kind of pissed me off, but this is a really good lesson today. It showed me that if I'm emotional, I should probably take a minute to recenter. Especially as a scalper, you can lose a lot of money very quickly. But luckily, my stop, I only lost 5 cents on the contract here because there were still so many buyers down here. So probably when I marketed it out, we were already back up here. I just very stupid on my part. I should have waited to see a reaction here, and I probably would have seen as soon as we came down here, boop, we popped back up. And you see that buyers are active down here, and then I could have rode the trend all the way up, and this would have been a really good trade. But nevertheless, so at this point in the day, I literally only have enough settled cash to buy one. It was 1 day till expiration because today's Tuesday. I could only buy one day till expiration contract, like 3 or 4 out of the money. Like I had to go all the way down here to be able to afford a contract to play calls, because I only had like $120 left. So I found a contract for, I guess I had like 140. I found a contract for 138, 1 day till expiration, spike calls, like 3 out of the money. So that was all I could play, but I looked for an opportunity to re-enter because I knew, I just wanted to ride the momentum at this point. I had multiple confirmations that it was going exactly the way I wanted it to. So at 9:37, I played calls, and we were coming up here, basing out while holding value up at this 5-minute supply. So, we were taking out these sellers up here, and I entered, I think it was probably right at the break of, like, right as soon as we started cutting up into the supply. Go ahead and make this green. So, and I'll show you guys how I always trade ES and use NQ as like context pretty much. So at 9:37, right? We, at 9:36, we came up, rallied, and based at high of day, like right underneath high of day. So we could have anticipated an RBR here, and then we got this nice big green candle, like completely solid green candle. And at the same time, we pushed through supply. So I entered there, pretty much just rode the trend up until VWAP. There was a little bit of struggling here at the upper trend line of, this is an hourly. Here, hold on 1 second. I'll show you guys what's going on here. So I've never really charted these, but I saw someone chart them the other day. It's like instead of converging, like coming together like a descending wedge or something like that, this is divergent. So it kind of shows like tops and bottoms. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not too familiar with it, but I saw it, so I charted it just as a point of reference. Trend lines are trend lines as far as I'm concerned. But so this is the line that I am looking at here, this lower trend line of this divergent pattern. So I wanted to see buyers be able to push us up above that. Oops, go to 1 minute. So we did struggle a little bit, but then we got, look at this huge volume spike right here, pushed us right through. And then by that point, sorry, let me zoom in real quick. So by that point, We were pushing up into supply over on NQ. And I was just not entirely sure. We did have buyers factored in on the longer time frame, but we also had sellers factored in. We've been selling off yesterday and pre-market this morning. So I wanted to play this safe. So we came up into demand right here as we were approaching VWAP on ES. And then this next candle just looked very bearish. There's it is still green, I guess, but long upper wick, shooting star, right at VWAP. So struggling at VWAP, inside supply over here. That's a sign to get out as a scalper. But over here, we pushed right through VWAP. Like, we were struggling here for a minute, and then we got one big order that just popped us up. But then, being inside supply over here and struggling at VWAP, we came back down. We were down here. Buyers were holding us up, but we were struggling and closed below. So I think we kept coming back below and then kind of getting bought back up. So I, should have stayed in. But, I was playing it safe after everything else that happened today. And I went ahead and got out right here. So, if I would have been prepared this morning, if everything would have worked out, I would have been so mentally calm here and would have made some really nice profit. Like, okay, not a ton. I'm playing one contract, but it would have gone exactly as I had planned, and I would have, felt really successful about today. But lo and behold, this is trading. This is exactly what happens to all of us. We all have our bad days. Today was complete, it was really shitty. I made $4, and after commissions, I literally made 3 cents. But hey, that's better than, just giving up as soon as I lost those $12 from that mistake. It shows that I am a defensive trader. I'm really good with risk management. But maybe sometimes, I shouldn't be playing it too safe. I need to wait for a reaction, need to wait for my confirmation to get out. But, yeah, so I hope you guys learned something from this video. It was honestly, to me, this is a successful day of trading. I literally had every single obstacle thrown at me on top of, being stressed from finals and everything. And literally having like no settled cash left. Like, this is stuff that us struggling traders with small accounts go through every day. So, if you guys are like interested in seeing more of this content, just go ahead and, subscribe, because I go through this all the time. And I'm just going to be very upfront and honest with you guys, and kind of try to show you guys what it's like learning all of this as a struggling trader. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching.